Hi everyone, in this video I will explain how you can install Matomo on premise. It's going to be a long video, yeah, it's not just a quick fix that I will introduce, but really the whole story behind what is Matomo on premise, how you can actually register, or at least how you can subscribe to a web hosting platform in order to find out how you can deploy your Matomo on your own server, and so on and so forth. So it's going to be quite long. I will probably cut this video many times and mount it afterward, because of course I don't want to disclose my credential for the web hosting platform, neither my credit card information, and so on and so forth. But I would like to go through the whole process, and let's say just cut the part that you are not supposed to see, and see only the full process in order for you to be able to install it on your own. So first of all, let's define what does Matomo on-premise mean. So actually, on-premise means that it's self-hosted, and when it means it's self-hosted, it means that it's installed on the server of your choice. So if you go on matomo.org, you will see that you have several options. One is named Try It for Free. That means that's the current configuration on the website. What does it mean? Actually, try it for free. It means that you are not using the self-hosted version of Matomo, but that you are using the cloud hosting version. So the cloud hosting version of Matomo is provided by a professional company named InnoCraft, and that's typically what you can see up here, right? So that's the company behind actually Matomo, who is saying professional services based on Matomo. And if you click up here, you will see that they have the pricing grid. And on the pricing grid, you will know actually how much they will charge in order to host your Matomo on their server. But in this video, we're going to see the other way around, which is how you can actually host Matomo on your own server, and this is what we call the on-premise, which is a synonym of self-hosted. So you just put your mouse over here on premise, and then you will click on download for free. So just to let you know as well that Matomo is totally different from any other web analytics vendors that you can find out there, because Matomo allows you actually to just download the technology and use it as you want. Okay, so Matomo is not a proprietary solution. It's what we call the free software. If you want to see what does this free software look like, you can just go on GitHub, and on GitHub you will see actually how the project is going, how many people are contributing to it, and you will see as well the license part, right? So the license part is clearly saying that you are free to use Matomo for any commercial use. You are free to modify it, you are free to redistribute it, you are free to use the patent, you are free to use it for private use. So there's no, let's say, condition of use associated to Matomo. You are the own responsible of what you are doing. This is your own technology, and you are free to do whatever you want as far as, let's say, you self-hosted. Okay. So it differs totally from Google Analytics, for example, where in 2 clicks you can set an account and you can get your user tracking code that you can just copy and paste and deploy everywhere. And you have as well some terms and conditions. So with Matomo, it's totally different, right? It's not like a 2-click installation unless you go for the cloud option, which means that you will get rid of all the technological part and you outsource it then to the company InnoCraft. If you go for the download for free, what will happen is that it will be your own mess. So you will have, let's say, you will have to download Matomo, and you will have actually the possibility to deploy it on the server of your choice. So yes, that's the full story here. So you are downloading actually your software, and this software you need to put it somewhere. Okay, the place where you will put actually this software in is called the server. And as you may not own your own server, you need actually to go to what we call web hosting platform. So yeah, example of web hosting platforms such as Liquid Web, Bluehost, GoDaddy, Etzner, Squarespace, one-on-one, Google Cloud, AWS. I mean, you are free to choose the web hosting platform of your choice, because those companies, what they do for you is that they put at your disposal a computer which is named a server in order to host this specific software, so the Matomo software, and they allow you as well to deploy what we call a database, and the database is necessary in order for Matomo to register the data and make them available through the report that you are, let's say, analyzing. So yes, the story starts here. You need to download Matomo, and then you need to choose a web hosting platform on which you will deploy Matomo. So in my case, actually, I decided to go for one. So one is a well-known company, let's say in France, where I'm physically located. I just choose them like this. Okay, I have no preferences at all. I never subscribe to the service, but just for this demo, that's the company I will choose. So the first question that you need to ask is what kind of server should I purchase in order to make Matomo running, and how much it will cost me. In any cases, it's going to cost you something, because you need to host it somewhere, and servers are actually not given for free. In some cases, you can actually, if you already have a web hosting platform and that you already have a database, you can deploy your Matomo within those given database. And then in this course, of course, it will not cost you anything, because you already have the material in order to host Matomo. That's typically the case where let's say some user already deploying a CMS such as WordPress in their web hosting platform, and they are using actually the same database, or within their package subscriptions, they have the possibility to deploy another database, and they are doing so. And let's say, of course, in this following configurations, they are not paying anything, but it's just that they already pay something in order to host their CMS or similar. Okay, so yes, you need to choose the right server in order to handle Matomo. It's like when you purchase, let's say, a video game for a PC, right? When you look at the back of the box of the video game, it's telling you what is the, let's say, the configuration of your PC you need to have, what is the version of the operating system that you need to have in order to handle the video game properly. And that's exactly the same thing for Matomo. Okay, so if you dig a little bit within the documentation of Matomo, it will give you a clear idea of what kind of server you need to have. So here it's saying, what infrastructure do I need to run Matomo? You can find it within the user guide named doc optimize. And here it's saying, okay, if your website have less than 1,000 pages or events, so let's say here's saying per day, so let's divide it by 10, and let's say if you have, let's say, almost 50 visits to 100 visits per day, then Matomo works on most hosting, even the cheapest one. And I guess that by cheapest one, they mean what we call share hosting server. Of course, the more traffic you are receiving, then the more effort you are asking to your server, and then of course, the more the user experience of the Matomo user will be not good, let's say. So that's why you need to have a better server, and this is where we already start to advise you to go for a fast shared hosting or for virtual server, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's the full story here. If you have, let's say, not that much traffic, well, let's say the smallest server will be fine, and then the more traffic you get, then the biggest the server needs to be. If you would like actually to get more information regarding the specific server configuration, you kind of find it over here, how to configure Matomo for speed. And here they are a bit more talkative about the kind of configuration that you need to have. So let's say here they're saying about dedicated servers, they're saying that significant RAM memory on the server, 1 giga, then to use PHP 7, then to use PHP cache, and yes, and so on and so forth, right? So here you've got a bit of information about what you should have in terms of server in order to handle everything. Okay, so let's move forward. So in my case, I'm interested in this service at one. So in order to know if the service that you are going to pick up here fits your Matomo installation. You just need to compare what they're asking you here with what the web hosting platform is telling you. So here, in my case, I can see that it's going to cost me €1 per month in order to take this web hosting platform, and then actually it will cost me a bit more. Here they're telling me, okay, the RAM that I need, I mean the RAM which will be available for this server. So here they're saying that it's 512, and as you saw over here, they're saying they're saying that I need to have in terms of RAM 1 giga memory, and this is for um, let's say website which are receiving already a bit of traffic. So I think that if I only have half of it, that will be enough. Then if I go down, they're telling me, okay, you need to, we will offer you the SSL certificate. And if you look at the configuration that Matomo should have in terms of security, they're telling you, okay, you should have at least HTTPS. So in my case, if I go for the SSL, that will be fine. You need to have a separate MySQL database, so that's why it's better to have your own database and not to put it within the same database of your CMS. So if you go down, then you get daily backup. So that's what I may be interested in. And yeah, just to let you know that Matomo can be subject as any other database to hackers. So that's why it's always interesting to look for web hosting platform which offers you actually the protection against DDoS attack, which offer you some backup and so on and so forth. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. That's the kind of thing that you could have within your web hosting platform. It's telling you, okay, what kind of module can your web hosting platform easily integrate? Here, for example, they are telling you that WordPress, it seems that actually it's easily, it can be easily set within this one-on-one platform. And as you can see, Matomo is not listed under, let's say, the technology which can be easily installed in one click. This is clearly what it's saying here. WordPress can be installed in a couple of clicks because of a module, or at least this is what I expect them to say. Just because Matomo is probably not as famous as those CMS, but probably in some months, in some years from now, you will probably have a line dedicated to Matomo, because that's the only opportunity we have now if you want to go for web analytics and open source. Here it's interesting as well. This is the hard disk, which will be available actually for your Matomo. 100 giga is far more than what we need actually for a small website. And as well, what we are interested in is the SSH access. Okay, SSH access, it means that you will have the possibility to access through the command line interface to your Matomo, and many actions are actually needed to do it this way if you would like to set and configure Matomo to go above the initial limits that it's configured with. So here, for example, if you would like to add more custom dimensions, if you would like to collect more than, let's say, 5,000 of page URL, for example, if you have a website which have a lot of contents, that kind of thing, you will need to have an access in SSH in order to set this configuration up. Here they are telling you how many database will be offered. So 5 is more than what we need because we only need one. It's interesting to have at least 2 if you would like to deploy as well a CMS. Here it's telling us that actually the version of the server is configured for PHP 7.2, which is a good thing because we need to have at least PHP 7, if I remember well, yes. So here, of course, if your server does not support PHP 7, it means that actually Matomo may slow down, or at least some functions may be broken. So definitely you want to be at least in version number 7. And yeah, that's it. The possibility to create some subdomain, which could be interesting if you would like to set your Matomo on the same website the same domain name as the one you set your website for. And yeah, email address could be interesting as well to have not just one email address, because you may want to create just one dedicated email address for your Matomo in order to receive your notification just in this one. And that's it. Okay, so here I'm quite happy with this offer. It's kind of cheap, and it's good. So one domain is included within your pack. So in my case, I'm just gonna buy a buggy, yeah, buggy domain name. So it's gonna be I don't know. It's gonna be my stats tutorial. Okay, my stat tutorial. I'm just gonna go for, I don't know which one is the cheapest one. Let's go for mystattutorial.com. Let's see if that's available. Okay, it's available, so I'm happy. I can move forward here. Okay, so it will be included. Yeah, I don't mind. I just want this one. So let's go for it. Yep. So okay, so I can proceed here. Okay, so I chose my domain name and I choose the package that I wanted. So here they're telling me, okay, you can, I mean, all the web hosting platform are offering that kind of extra things, but I'm not interested in. I just want to pay the minimum here. So I continue in the process. Okay, so here is the final price. So I can go for either 1 year of subscription or either 1 month of subscription. In my case, I'm going to do 12 months. And the reason why I would like to go for 12 months is it's kind of cheap, and I may need actually this web hosting platform in order to make some tests. So let's see what this say. Okay. Okay, that's a box that most of the time you want to check in order to not disclose publicly your information regarding the one who make the purchase, or at least with the owner of the domain name. So I prefer to take it in. So yes, so far I just want this. So you always double check. Okay, I don't need any WordPress security management. It should be fine. Okay, so let's move forward. Okay, am I already customer? Not yet. So that's where I'm gonna start to cut my video right now, and I will mount it afterwards. So basically here what I'm doing is I'm gonna purchase actually a domain name, and I'm gonna purchase as well the hosting, which is linked with it. So I will have my web hosting service, and I will have my domain name, and I will deploy on this domain name my Matomo. So I'm cutting now the video, and I will mount it just afterwards. Thank you. Yep. Oh, sorry for that. Okay, so I'm now back. So here it's a page, so telling me that I placed the order. So they asked me actually for my credit card information just before, and I enter, of course, my credit card information, and it works. So they say, thank me for your order, and what they are saying, actually, there was a message here below telling me that actually they were currently installing actually the new server. So don't be surprised when you purchase, when you make the order right away on a web hosting platform. It's going to take you a bit of time, around 10 minutes. And during those 10 minutes, they are preparing the server for you, and you may receive actually a list of different emails. So just to give you one idea, during those 10 minutes, I received an email telling me, hi, thanks for your order. So like a recap, a summary of the order of what I bought. So a domain name on which I will put my Matomo accessible to, and as well the web hosting part, right, dealing with the database and as well the server in terms of hard disk and configuration. Then you will probably receive the second email. So in my case, they are telling me, okay, we confirm you that the domain name has been registered successfully. So you can already start to play with your domain name. So here what they're clearly saying is, okay, you can already now start to put your Matomo on our server, and then sometime you are receiving actually a third email. So in my case, it's in order to justify that I'm the owner of the domain name, which is up here. So in any cases, when you subscribe to a web hosting platform, do not be surprised that you will receive probably among 3 to 4 emails giving you information. So when you do so, actually, you can access actually to your Matomo. No, thanks. Oops. And in my case, I reached actually the given page. Okay, so I reached this page when I connected back to my web hosting platform. Here they give me the possibility to manage my domain name, and what I'm interested in is the hosting part, right? How I can use the web space that they put on my disposal, such as the database, because right now my main concern is how can I transfer my Matomo software, so the one that you can find out up here, right? How can I transfer this file to my server, which is up here? So in order to do so, I will need to have a database. I will need as well to use either SFTP or SSH in order to transfer the files, and this is what I'm gonna do right now. So okay, so here we are. I just finished to install, at least to transfer the file from uh, my own computer to the server. To be honest with you, I stopped doing it in SFTP because it was just too long, and I used this method. So I just connect in SSH and I just enter the following line. And I have to say that doing it through SFTP, it may have taken me something like 1 hour in order to transfer all the file. I mean, that was the time that was currently taking. And when I did it in SSH, it just take 30 seconds, even less. So yes, that's why I think it's better to go through SSH. And then here we are. Actually, all the files have been transferred and unzipped. It has been downloaded and then as well as been unzipped. So now, as everything is done properly, so I just need now to access actually to my file. So this is what they are saying now is when you make the transfer, you will have actually your domain name. So that's my case. I have my domain name slash analytics. So in my case, not really like slash analytics. It's more like slash Matomo, but we say that's the same thing. So if I go on my domain name now, which is okay, hi everyone. So I'm now back. Actually, as you can see, the file has been properly transferred. How did I succeed to do it? In fact, I stopped the SFTP method because it was taking too much time. It was too long. It took approximately around, it was close to 1 hour. So I decided finally to go through the SSH option, and this is what they're describing up here. And if you go through the SSH option, trust me, it takes 10 to 30 seconds, no more. Okay, so now I have my Matomo who is transferred, which is over here. It's the folder Piwik. So all I need now is just to go on my website and just to enter here the folder Piwik, right? So that's what I'm gonna do. So Piwik, and here it goes. So this is problematic as this is in French, and we want to have it in English. Okay, so let's have it in English. So here they're telling us, okay, welcome to the Matomo file installation. So we move forward. So here you have the system check. So what is the system check? It's currently seeing if on the server that you put Matomo on, what are the different settings which are defined and if it fits with the Matomo expectations. So here as promised, 1N1 is under PHP version 7.2, which is a good thing as we should be higher than 5.5. The PDO extension is up and running. They have the MySQL and everything seems fine. The memory limit, oh, that's interesting. On a high traffic website, I may require more memory. So here it's telling us that I should change the memory limit if I'm receiving a lot of traffic, but that's optional, so it still should be fine. And if I go down, okay, here for SSL connection, we recommend using Matomo over SSL connection. Please click here to continue the installation process over SSL. I never did it, so maybe we can just have a look at it. System check, so okay. Okay, in any cases, I cannot process here, so it's kind of interesting. Let's see if that's a problem in order to move forward. So let's click on next. And here they are telling me, okay, please configure the database, right? So I need now to configure the database, and for this, I need to go back within my one-on-one. Okay, so now I have my database, and as you can see, it's asking me some information, right? So those information, I will pick them up when I will create my own database within one-on-one in my case. So it's kind of very simple because it's giving you, once you create it, all the information that you need, such as the database name. So you just go over here, and that's the database name. So you just copy it. Then it's asking you actually your host name, which is somehow your IP address. So you just need once more to just copy it and put it here. Yep. Then it's asking you your login. So in my case, my login is this one over here. And then it's asking me my password. So only you know your password, not as well that I'm not in HTTPS. Typically, you should not do that if you are not in HTTPS. In my case, just that I didn't have the time to configure my website in HTTPS. So here I have my my password. So in my case, it's gonna be like oops, this, 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 and this. Okay, and all good. So I click on next. Okay, so here as you can see, it's saying me, okay, you created the table successfully. So I click on next. So here it's asking me for the super user login. So in my case, I'm just gonna put my name over here, and there I will put my password. So always change your password. And okay, and here I'm gonna put my email address. So I don't know, I can put whatever I want over here, but I'm just gonna use my email address that I used to. Okay. Probably you are interested in receiving the major community updates, just because in some cases, well, you would like to know what's happening, and then you can also take this one up if you would like to get information about the professional services of Matomo. So the password does not match, so I may have done something wrong. Interesting. Okay, so the password seems not to match. So I'm going to use something else. Okay, great. And now it has to set up a website. So here, we don't mind, right? It can be any website. Doesn't make any difference. Next. And that's it. So now we have the tracking code for the website that we would like to track. So probably I can just copy this tracking code and there, whatever the website I would like to track, is going to be fine. So I will be able to track it. Just to give you one tiny example, basically what I could do is that, sorry, it's telling me, okay, congratulations, everything is set. So I have my Matomo up and running. So here, if I just put my credential, it should be right. Once more, as you can see, I'm not in HTTPS, so I need to configure that out. So yeah. Interesting. See, I already forgot my credential. Okay, so now I need to push data to my Matomo. So I'm going to use a website. I'm going to use Timber as an example. So okay, here I have a website. I'm just gonna copy and paste over here my tracking code. I'm gonna save that out and I'm gonna publish it. Oh, by the way, I need to connect. Okay, great. So let's connect. Okay, so if I publish that out, publish, and data access to the project, normally the tracking call will have been fired and the information should have been sent to Matomo. So that's what I can just check right now. And so let's see. Yes, so I'm getting the tracking code working properly. If I look at the element, so oh, that's unusual. I check. Why is that? So I'm gonna look over here. Okay, so it's kind of strange because that's fine. Okay. Okay, so what I will do is I will try to fire this tracking code instead. Let's go over here and let's copy it. Okay, so yeah, so here as you can see the pixel is properly fired. So normally the data has been properly sent. Okay, so here as you can see the data is pushed to Matomo. Probably the mistake that I'm doing here is that I'm using Timber, and maybe Timber for some reason is kind of blocking the JavaScript. I'm not 100% sure of that, but that could be the reason. But as you can see the data is pushed if I'm firing straight away the pixel of Matomo. So let's say that's it. I succeeded in showing you how you can install actually Matomo on a server. directly and on a one-on-one server. So this is Matomo on-premise. You own now the full software. It's hosted on your own server. And yeah, it starts already to send the data too. So yeah, now enjoy and let's say deploy as many things as you want on Matomo. Thanks for watching.